A high cost of living can impact a country's quality of life in many ways. For those on the lower end of the economic scale, such as low-wage workers or retirees on fixed incomes, a high cost of living can make it difficult to keep up with the cost of necessities such as housing, utilities, groceries, clothing, and transportation. A high cost of living can make a country less appealing to vacationers and expats, who get less for their money than they might elsewhere. Computing the cost of living in a given area is typically done by measuring the cost of various goods and services from rent and utilities to groceries and sneakers, then comparing those amounts to the cost of the same goods and services elsewhere. Nevertheless, here are the top 10 most expensive countries to live in the world in 2023. 10. Singapore Cost of Living Index, 83.98. Singapore is a sovereign island country in maritime Southeast Asia. With a cost of living index of 83.98, Singapore is the 10th most expensive country to live in. The country has the third highest population density in the world. Childcare in Singapore is one of the most expensive services in the world, costing the average family about $18,000 annually. Singapore has a highly developed market economy, historically based on expanding enterprise trade. Along with Hong Kong, South Korea, and Taiwan, Singapore is one of the 4 Asian tigers, and the country is ahead of its peers in terms of per capita gross domestic product. 9. Bahamas Cost of Living Index, 84.00. The Bahamas is a sovereign country within the Lucayan archipelago of the West Indies in the Atlantic. The archipelago state consists of more than 700 islands, cays and islets in the Atlantic Ocean. The Bahamas is one of the most expensive countries to live in the world. Most goods in the country have to be imported, which is a contributing factor to the cost of living. In terms of GDP per capita, the Bahamas is one of the richest countries in the Americas. Its currency, the Bahamian dollar, is pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar. Prices in the Bahamas are still steep due to the competitive housing market and high import taxes. 8. Denmark. Cost of Living Index, 84.12. Denmark is a Nordic country in Northern Europe, and is one of the richest countries in the world. Denmark is the southernmost of the Scandinavian countries. Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark, and is one of the most expensive cities to live in the world. The Danish capital is especially pricier for anyone wanting to do some retail therapy. Denmark has a developed mixed economy which is classified as a high-income economy by the World Bank. The overall cost of living index in Denmark is generally steep, and is definitely one of the most expensive countries to live in the world. 7. Israel. Cost of Living Index, 88.05. Israel is a country in Western Asia, and is one of the most expensive countries to live in the world. Tel Aviv is the country's economic and technological center, while its seat of the government is in the declared capital of Jerusalem, although international recognition of Israel's sovereignty over the city remains in dispute. Tel Aviv has been ranked as the most expensive city to live in the world. With a cost of living index of 88.05, day-to-day living costs are very high across Israel. Israel has the second largest number of startup companies in the world after the United States. Also, it has one of the third largest number of NASDAQ-listed companies after the US and China. Intel and Microsoft has built their first overseas research and development facilities in Israel. At the same time, other high-tech multinational corporations such as IBM, Google, Apple, Facebook, and Motorola have opened research and development centers in the country. 6. Jersey. Cost of Living Index, 92.02. With a cost of living index score of 92.02, Jersey ranks as the 6th most expensive country to live in the world. Jersey is an island country and self-governing crown dependency off the coast of northwest France. Jersey has a high per capita economic output at purchasing power parity, well ahead of all major developed economies in the world. The actual standard of living in Jersey is comparable to that in the UK outside central London. 5. Barbados. Cost of Living Index, 92.37. Barbados is an island country in the Lesser Antilles of the West Indies and the easternmost part of the Caribbean islands. And the country has a population of just 287,000. Living in Barbados faces logistical challenges that contribute to it being one of the most expensive places to live. The government of Barbados puts a lot of money into a primarily state-owned system, and the island has one of the world's highest literacy rates of 99.6%. Barbados is the 52nd richest country in the world in terms of GDP per capita. The country has a well-developed mixed economy, and a moderately high standard of living. However, it's important to note that 20% of Barbadians live in poverty, and about 10% of its citizens cannot meet their daily food needs. 4. Iceland. Cost of Living Index, 94.86. Iceland is a Nordic country which is the least populated country in Europe. Iceland's capital and largest city is Reykjavik, which is home to over 65% of the population. Iceland has strict regulations when it comes to importing foreign goods, leading to high prices of the products. Grocery prices in the country are among the highest in the world. Iceland has a market economy with relatively low taxes compared to other OECD countries. The country also has the highest trade union membership in the world. Iceland ranks high in economic, democratic, and social stability as well as equality, and the country runs almost entirely on renewable energy. 3. Norway. Cost of Living Index, 100.90. Norway is a Nordic country in northern Europe. Its mainland covers the western and northern parts of the Scandinavian peninsula. The capital and largest city of Norway is Oslo, and is one of the most expensive countries to live in the world. Norway ranks third in this list as the most valuable of the Scandinavian countries. It has a hefty VAT rate of 25%, which is one of the highest in the world. This drives up the cost of most everyday items. Norwegians have the second highest GDP per capita income among European countries, and the country ranks as the second wealthiest country in the world in terms of monetary value, with the largest capital reserve per capita of any country. The tax rate on food is only 15% lower, but still considered expensive. Norway is also the third most expensive place in the world to buy groceries. 2. Switzerland. Cost of Living Index, 123.35. Living in Switzerland is much more expensive than usual. Both Geneva and Zurich are among the top 10 most expensive cities to live in the world. Childcare, dining out, and cinema tickets are among the most costliest things in Switzerland. In fact, it's 23.5% more expensive to live in Switzerland than in New York City. Additionally, Switzerland has a stable, prosperous, and high-tech economy. Switzerland is ranked as one of the least corrupt countries in the world, and its citizens enjoy one of the highest per capita income in the world. The country is the 20th largest economy in the world by nominal GDP and is the 7th largest exporter of goods. Bermuda. Cost of Living Index, 146.04. Bermuda is the most expensive country to live in the world. Bermuda is a British overseas territory in the North Atlantic Ocean. Bermuda produces almost no food or consumer goods and is usually dependent on goods shipped from the US. This makes it the most expensive country in the world to buy groceries. Import taxes in Bermuda are exorbitant, resulting in high costs on the retail price of everything from food to fuel. Import taxes in the country are the second largest source of government revenue after payroll taxes. Tourism in Bermuda's second largest industry, with over 500,000 visitors annually, more than 80% of whom are from the United States. Other important sources of visitors are from Canada and the United Kingdom. So there you have it, viewers, the top 10 most expensive countries to live in the world. Don't forget to give this video a like, and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Thanks for watching this one, catch you all in the next.